Welcome to the Repugen Podcast, where we transform patient care.
Welcome to today's episode of the Repugen Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of healthcare marketing and reputation management. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a topic that's crucial to any modern healthcare practice: patient reviews. Whether they're positive or negative, online reviews are a big part of how patients choose their providers. I'm your host, Jennifer, and joining me today is, as always, John.
Thanks for having me, Jennifer. I'm really excited to be here and share some insights on a topic that's so important for healthcare providers in today's digital age. Online reviews can feel overwhelming at times, but if managed correctly, they can be one of the most powerful tools for building patient trust and growing your practice.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today: how to navigate the complex world of online reviews, especially negative ones, and turn them into an opportunity for growth. But before we dive into all of that, let's set the stage. In today's digital-first world, online reviews are more than just feedback. They're a key part of the decision-making process for patients.
You're spot on. In fact, studies show that 73% of patients check online reviews before selecting a healthcare provider. So reviews, both good and bad, have a huge influence on whether or not someone will choose your practice. And while negative reviews can be uncomfortable, they can actually be valuable. When handled the right way, negative reviews can help you learn, improve, and show future patients that you're listening and committed to providing excellent care.
That's a great point. Negative reviews are often seen as a problem, but as you said, they can be a learning opportunity. However, I know a lot of healthcare providers might hesitate to respond to reviews, especially when they're negative. What do you say to those providers? Should they be engaging with every review that comes their way?
Absolutely. They should engage with both positive and negative reviews. It's essential for building trust with potential patients and showing that you care about patient feedback. Responding to reviews, whether positive or negative, lets future patients know that you're engaged and that patient satisfaction matters to you. But I do understand why providers might feel hesitant. Negative reviews can be tough to address, especially when there's a lot of emotion involved.
I think that's where a lot of people get stuck: emotions. It's hard not to take a negative review personally. After all, you worked hard to build your practice and deliver good care. So how do you suggest healthcare providers navigate that emotional aspect while still responding in a constructive way?
You're absolutely right. It's hard not to take it personally. But the key is to remember that reviews are about the patient's experience, not necessarily a reflection of your entire practice. One approach that works really well is the HEART method, which helps guide responses to negative reviews in a way that's empathetic, professional, and HIPAA-compliant. HEART stands for hear, empathize, acknowledge, respond, and thank. Let's break that down. Hear: listen to the patient's concerns, acknowledge their feedback. Empathize: show that you understand their frustration, but without getting defensive. Acknowledge: recognize the issue they brought up, but don't get into specifics that could compromise patient confidentiality. Respond: offer a solution or explain the steps you're taking to improve. Thank: always thank the patient for taking the time to leave feedback, even if it's negative. This approach helps you address the concerns, show empathy, and maintain professionalism, all while protecting patient confidentiality.
I love that framework. HEART seems like a really solid way to turn potentially negative feedback into a constructive conversation. Now let's talk a bit about HIPAA compliance. It's a huge concern for healthcare providers when responding to reviews because patient privacy is paramount. How can healthcare providers navigate that when they're responding to a review that might contain sensitive information?
Great question, Jennifer. HIPAA is a top priority when it comes to managing patient reviews, and it's easy to inadvertently violate patient privacy if you're not careful. The key here is to avoid confirming or denying any details that could personally identify a patient, like their name, appointment date, or specific medical information. Instead, keep your responses general. For example, if a patient complains about long waiting times, don't say, "Sorry you had to wait 30 minutes last Tuesday." Instead, say something like, "We understand that waiting times can be frustrating, and we're working hard to improve scheduling and reduce waiting times."
That's a great way to stay compliant while still addressing the issue. And I think it's really important to move the conversation offline, right? That way you can discuss the specifics privately without risking any HIPAA violations.
Exactly. If you need to get into the details of a complaint, encourage the patient to contact you directly through a private channel like a secure patient portal or phone call. That way you can have a more in-depth conversation while keeping things HIPAA compliant.
That makes total sense. So now let's say that a healthcare provider has received a mix of positive and negative reviews. What would be your advice for managing them together in a way that builds trust and credibility with patients?
First, remember that a balance of reviews is natural and even beneficial. As I mentioned earlier, patients can be skeptical if they see only glowing reviews. A mix of feedback, both positive and negative, adds authenticity and shows that your reviews are genuine. Responding thoughtfully to both positive and negative reviews gives future patients the impression that you care about improving and that you're committed to providing great care. For positive reviews, be sure to thank the patient and acknowledge what went well. For negative reviews, use the HEART method we talked about earlier, showing that you're actively working to resolve issues. By responding promptly and professionally to both types of reviews, you demonstrate your commitment to patient care and create an open line of communication with your patients.
I really like that idea, treating both types of reviews with equal importance. Now let's pivot a bit. How can practices be more proactive in preventing negative reviews? Are there any strategies that can help minimize the likelihood of receiving bad feedback?
Proactive is key. First, conducting regular patient satisfaction surveys can give you a heads up on potential issues before they become complaints. If you see a recurring problem like long waiting times or difficulty scheduling appointments, you can address it before a patient decides to leave a negative review. Also, don't be afraid to ask happy patients for reviews. Most patients are happy to leave a review, especially if they've had a positive experience. So make it easy for them to do so. Consider sending out a follow-up email or text asking for a review after a visit, and provide them with a link directly to your Google review page.
That's a great approach, getting ahead of the issues. And it's a reminder that creating a positive patient experience at every touch point is the best way to prevent negative reviews from happening in the first place.
Exactly. And another thing that can help is streamlining your review management process. Practices can leverage review management platforms like Repugen's Review Pulse to stay on top of reviews across multiple platforms. Having all of your reviews in one place makes it easier to monitor feedback and respond in real time. And tools like ReplyWise can help automate the process of crafting HIPAA-compliant responses, which saves you time while ensuring you're always on top of your reputation management.
Automation sounds like a real game changer, especially for busy healthcare practices. It must make staying on top of reviews a lot easier without adding more work to the staff's plate. So if a practice is using automation tools, what are some other benefits they can expect?
The benefits are huge. Automation helps you streamline your review management by consolidating all of your reviews into one dashboard, making it easy to monitor feedback and respond in real time. Additionally, tools can send out review requests after patient visits, ensuring you're consistently getting fresh feedback. And with sentiment analysis, you can gain valuable insights into how patients are feeling about your practice, which helps you make data-driven decisions about areas that need improvement.
That's awesome. Having that kind of insight must help practices pinpoint exactly where they can enhance their services. It sounds like technology really can be a huge ally in managing online reviews.
Absolutely. The right tools can make a huge difference, allowing practices to not only respond to reviews, but also track patterns and improve the patient experience overall. And in the long run, all of that effort adds up to a stronger, more trusted online reputation, which is invaluable when attracting new patients.
Such great insights today, John. Thanks for sharing all your knowledge on managing online reviews and maintaining a positive reputation in healthcare. Before we wrap up, is there any final advice you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Yes, I'd say don't be afraid of negative reviews. Use them as an opportunity to grow, learn, and show your patients that you're always striving to improve. And remember, responding to reviews, whether positive or negative, shows patients that you're engaged and care about their experience. Building a positive online reputation takes time, but with the right approach and tools, it's absolutely achievable.
Fantastic advice, John. I think our listeners will leave today's episode feeling much more confident in their ability to manage online reviews and build stronger relationships with their patients.
Thanks again, Jennifer. It's been great chatting about this topic, and I hope the information we've shared helps healthcare providers take control of their online reputation and ultimately improve their patient care.
Thanks, John. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our show notes for more resources on managing patient reviews and building a positive online presence. We'll be back next time with more tips and strategies for healthcare professionals. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Repugen Podcast, your path to better healthcare.